Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for the 23rd webisode of Tech Tip Tuesday. I'm here with Howard Young, Solutions Architect at Zadara Storage. Today Howard is going to be discussing building private Docker apps for the VPSA. I just realized the email that was sent out reminding you of the webinar has the incorrect information. That would be last week's content. So this week, to clarify, we are talking about private Docker apps for the VPSA. Remember, if you have any questions, please use the control panel on your right-hand side to send in your questions. If it's relevant or urgent for what Howard is speaking on, I'll go ahead and ask Howard right away. Otherwise, I will relay the questions to Howard at the end of the sessions. Now let's begin. Howard, go ahead and take it away.
Good morning, everyone. At least from California, it's still morning. Good afternoon to the rest of the world, and or good evening. Today, what we're going to talk about is building some private Docker apps that can run on the VPSA. Now, if you're not aware what we could do in the VPSA, we have a very powerful extension that allows you to extend the capabilities of the array itself. This is unlike, you won't find this capability in any other array. Everything else runs outside of the array, and they just connect to Docker through just normal shares. What this gives you, a very, very powerful and fast capability to run Docker right on the array. So we talked about the public aspect of Docker, and you can download Docker apps through hub.docker.com, and most of the apps will run directly right on the VPSA. There are a couple modifications that you may have to do, and to do that, you just take the Docker file and recompile it, and that's what we'll do today as a short example. Now, if you want to do a private or application that you don't want to share with anyone, the current way to do it is to build it right in Docker, and then you copy the image itself right onto a share. And then from the share, you can load the image into the VPSA and then go ahead and run it. Now, what we do is we provide in GitHub a private, it's actually a public repository that you can go and grab any of our files. And these are examples that we use and support. And the main thing is what you want to do is think embedded. So it's a little bit different in Docker. If you ever ran Docker before, Docker, you can go, you have command line access, and you can debug things if there's issues. With the VPSA, it's an embedded target, so you need to put in the capability to debug things, and the way to do that is to do SSH. So today, what we're going to do is go over and build the SSH application. And let me bring up my Windows here. And so what we have is in this repo here, you would go ahead and at Zadara Docker files, you can go ahead and clone or download the repository. So if you have a GitHub account, you can clone it, and it's please go ahead and clone it. If you have any updates, go ahead and put a pull request in. We'll look at it and include it in, and we'll build out a larger scale of our applications that everyone can use for their benefit. But if you want to go ahead and pull it down without having an account at GitHub, just go ahead and download the zip, and then we can just do a wget, and then you'll get the master zip, and then you can go ahead and unzip it. And then from there, what you could do is you'll get basically this outline or these folders here, and we'll work on the SSH Docker file in a minute. But basically, let's go to the start SSH, and what you want to do is you want to keep the application running at all times. So what we do is just tail forever after we start up our services, and that just basically will give you a log of all the kernel messages. So this is a var log of D message, which is this kernel output. You shouldn't see anything in the log other than maybe 1 or 2 messages if there's any issues, but it does give you some basic debug. Now the SSH here, we'll go ahead and start up, and that'll give you access where you can log into the container on the VPSA. So to build this, basically what you want to do is build directly into from the directory, give it a tag, and then it'll go ahead and build and pull everything out. So if we can look at this in real time over here and go back up to the Docker file, and you can see what it's doing. It's basically pulling out of Ubuntu the trusty build, which is 14.04, and then it just does the install of SSH. Now you'll get some errors in here in red, but you don't have to worry about that. Those are just normal errors here. They're just warnings, so you don't have to worry about that. And then now there should be a Docker image here. If I can type right. And this is the one we just built 21 seconds ago. So now you have a image that you can work with, and basically what you want to do is add your own application right after this information here. If you need to expose any ports, go ahead and expose that too, and then you're good to go. An example of that, let's go back up to, let's see. Here's a MySQL container. If you want to go ahead and see the differences, basically we expose a new port. This is basically the SSH, and then the remainder down here is the MySQL server. Now this particular MySQL server, there is a little issue here with the latency here. So we're still working on this, but it does install MySQL on that. You can also use the MySQL right out of the Docker public repository, but you have to run at least a ZCS engine 1 or larger, because it does consume up quite a bit of memory. This particular one doesn't do that, so it's sort of trimmed down, but we'll get this thing up and running in a little bit. So there are a couple aspects to that. Once you have your images up and running, so if you go down here, there are instructions how to build your own Docker apps. And we talked about public apps out of Docker Hub and private apps. It tells you how to install Docker, and then basically what you want to do is run it once. So if you run it once here, and basically create an image or a container ID, and then what we'll do is we'll kill it, stop it, or stop it here, and then once it's stopped, we can go ahead and create the image. So basically, once you have the container up and running, you can go ahead and export that, and that would go into a namespace on your volume. And then from that namespace, you can go ahead and load that into your VPSA. So it's pretty straightforward. The instructions are very clear on what to do. And of course, if you have any questions, you can contact me on how to do this, or our DevOps team is be very happy to help you with building that. We do have some contributors here. This is me under ThreadX. Gabe did demo on ClamAV on number 14, Tech Tip 14, and Jeremy, he's our other DevOps engineer, and they're very good at producing and helping out with Docker. So again, think embedded, and it's pretty easy to set this up. And once you can have SSH, you can go ahead and log in, do anything you want. Our public SSH that you can load in is very handy if you're doing any type of maintenance of your VPSA. You can log in, change permissions. You can run any type of tests you can do at a command line, and it really runs very, very fast. It's a lot faster than doing over a network. So are there any questions, Summer?
We do have a couple questions. If anyone else would like to contribute, have a question or comment, please go ahead and ask the question in the module on your right. First question I have for you, Howard, is can the VPSA connect with the EC2 container registry?
That's a very good question. So the EC2 container registry, what that is, it runs right out of AWS. You can set up private repositories where you store your images. So it's sort of similar to what we're doing here, where you'd store the image on a VPSA volume. But right now we don't have the hooks into it. It would require a reverse proxy into AWS. But that's a really good question, but not at this time.
Thank you, Howard. We have another question that just came in. It's related to the demo you were just doing. What were you connected to when you started the demo, and what were you SSH'd into?
So on here, let me go back here. These are all EC2 instances here. So I did the build out of EC2, and if you look at these are all shares that are connected to the VPSA, and then what we'll do is there should be a test here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's green, of course. That's the one I use for connecting to the VPSA. So, for example, if I come over here to my Tech Tip Tuesday VPSA, and then if I want to look at a volume, here I have a test, and this is going to be an NFS mount. It's only 25 gig, which is more than enough space to store your images, and then from there you upload your images directly into the VPSA through the containers. So from images, you go ahead, create something like this, and you would import from the VPS NAS share, and then you give it a name, and then you go ahead and upload it. But everything is built out of EC2. These are very small instances. Basically, it's a nano running Ubuntu.
Great. Thank you for answering that question, Howard. If that answers your question, great. If you need a little more clarification, Howard would be happy to speak with you a little bit more. You can go ahead and email him. He'll put his contact information up on the screen. Howard, we have one last question. Have you tried running Docker registry on the VPSA?
No, I haven't. That's actually pretty good. So that's similar to the EC2 question before, where you can run a private registry. In Docker itself, in Docker Hub, you can pull out what they call a registry, and you can run your own private registry right on, like an EC2 instance. But here, no, I haven't tried doing that, but that'd be a very interesting test. So I'll try it out and see if it works.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Howard. Does anyone else have any questions? I'll just give you a few more seconds to post. If not, we'll go ahead and close. Okay, lastly, I want to mention that we're continuing our Starbucks promotion for topic suggestions. If you submit a topic that we use in one of our webisodes, we'll send you $25 to Starbucks. I'll send the link for you to submit in the chat box. I'll send this now. You can also find this page on our website under events, under Tech Tip Tuesday, you can sign up for the event there and also go to the landing page to select or suggest a topic. That's all for this week. Don't forget to tune in to next week's webisode. Thank you, everybody. Have a good week.